Last Friday, I think the 4th of January, a large fire had started about 15 k's from here in a straight line around the Fawcett district. I had a bad feeling about it because I'd seen this sort of situation in the past, and every so often that happens here in Tasmania. You get these high temperatures and hot winds. I watched the weather conditions and I knew sooner or later it was going to reach here. We thought we were going to lose the house, but I prepared it as best I could, and luckily we saved it. And as you can see, it's devastated the whole district. We were lucky, and the garden's not so pretty anymore.
My name's Phil Higuera, and I'm an assistant professor at the University of Idaho, and much of my research is focused on understanding fire ecology in the context of ongoing change and past change. So this year, as we came down to Tasmania to start our field work, we were greeted with active wildfires burning. When we got off on the tarmac in Hobart, we could see the plumes and smell the smoke. So it was a little bit sobering and inspiring at the same time in terms of really making the link between why we need to understand this process. The work we're doing here gets at the question of why do large wildfires happen. One way to get at that question is to look into the past and basically look for evidence of past fires. One of the unique features of the Central Plateau is that it's peppered with these small basins, and these small basins collect sediment, and we're going out and collecting anywhere from a half a meter to a meter or more of sediment from these basins, and as we go down in those sediments, we're going back in time to understand what's happened on the landscape in the past. There's a little chunk of charcoal, we don't know how old or from when, but the basic idea is that we can use the presence of charcoal like this from sediment records to figure out how often and when landscapes like this burned in the past.
20 centimeters is a medium brown fibrous. Can you let this one?
As a fire ecologist, I have two contrasting thoughts every time I learn of ongoing wildfires. And on the one side, from the scientific perspective, I get a little excited because it's fun to see the process that you're studying actively occurring. But then on the other side, it's humbling when you see the news coverage and you see destruction of property and, in the most unfortunate cases, loss of life. It's understanding what is both a human disaster and what is an important process in how our Earth works and functions.
The heat the other day was a record, but the variations from season to season have become far more extreme. I really believe with climate change that it's going to get far, far worse. I don't believe the natural world can convert quickly enough to adapt. It's hard to predict what will happen, but if this sort of trend continues, we're in big trouble. I really believe that. I think the risk is enormous, and I really don't know what the answer will be.